All right, what is up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Talking Buffalo, your weekday daily driver for Buffalo Sports Talk and more. My name is Patrick Moran. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, however you are consuming this show. I appreciate you very much. Big shout out to both our sponsors, Sunny Reds, 1841 Aber Road, just on the way from Highmark Stadium, and also Imperial Pizza, 1655 Main Street near Canisius College, and also in the heart of South Buffalo at 1035 Aber Road. Home of their lunch, the best lunch special in town. All right, doing something a little bit different here for this Friday episode. Sort of a pod bag episode, which I do a lot. However, instead of doing this solo, I got my guy Joe from Queens with me. And also, if you happen to be watching this, not really any promotional stuff ahead of time, but decided to go live as you hear that bear crack. On the video side, we're actually recording this live on Friday night. Twitter, YouTube, all of our platforms. What's going on, man? How you doing?
You mean Thursday night? It's Thursday right now.
What did I say?
You said Friday night just now.
Oh, well, it's dropping on Friday.
People
may listen to it on Friday night.
Yeah. I didn't even get a rundown. I didn't even get a what we're talking about. I saw it as the spoiler on the on Twitter. I'm like, oh, we're talking about this. Okay, cool. So thanks as always. You're just a pro's pro over here. You got a lot to learn from the Podfather, So
we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff here. Obviously, primarily Buffalo Bills. A lot going on, man. Got a handful of submissions from some people, ranging about the state of the roster to some of the moves that have been made. We're going to talk about this Micah Parsons trade today because obviously that's dominating headlines, as it should as well. I got to give you a little bit of credit, though. I will say this. If nothing else, you're never boring. Like, when I hear from you, we talk most days, and I never know what I'm going to expect. I never know what I'm going to expect, whether it's sports, content bros, music.
Music? We never talk about, I do the songs, too.
Your personalized music. I never know what I'm going to get from you, man. So it's always, it's never boring coming. And by the way, if you happen to live in the Buffalo area, and if you are going to be in town for the Bills home opener, if you would like to meet Joe from Queens in person, both Joe and I will be at what is it called now? Rally at the River.
The Podfathers event. I don't know.
It's not.
That's what I'm calling it.
Buffalo. It's Buffalo River Works all day Saturday. It's a big event going on. It's called Rally at the River. There's the Bills Mafia boat parade thing that is going on that day, and then everybody comes back after that to River Works. I found out WGR is going to be on the air. Sal Capaccio, and I'm not sure who else, but anyway, he's doing a show there from 12 to 2 live, and then at 2 o'clock, the Podfather, as you like to call him, Joe Marino, host of Locked On Bills, he's going to be doing a live show there at 2 o'clock, and I was there last year. I've talked about it on the show a few times. Incredible. You
were in your glory, rubbing elbows with Podfather and Salfie and all those guys. This year's going to be bigger than last year, probably, because I'm going to be there. But I probably won't get there till a little bit later in the day, so I might miss the content summit, sadly. And
no, you'll get there before that. You better get there before that.
No, I'm probably at 3 or 4. Dude, I have family to see. I'm not like you, who lives around, my entire social life is about the Bills and content, bro. It's like, I'd like to get there early, but I got to go. My mom likes me.
I'll tell you what, on the live feed early on, there's a couple people that are starting to trickle in. Again, we're very early here into the show, but they're ready to talk some Bills. But anyway, so all of that is going on. They're also going to have live music there, I think, starting at 3 o'clock.
God, I hate live music.
I'm not a big fan either. But anyway, Joe from Queens will be there. I will be there. So, I'm sure you'll recognize us. So if you happen to be there, make sure you pop on up and you say hi. You ready for some big Talking Buffalo news, Joe?
Oh, God. What's that?
Well, I talked about River Rally in the River next Saturday. Jesus, why can't I say that freaking sentence? It's such an easy event. See, Andy loves it. He's excited.
Yeah, he's really excited about it, dude.
Next Thursday night, I'm going to be live at Sunny Reds. Going to have a Bills season preview episode and two of Joe's all-time favorites, Matt Perino, Jay Skursky, both are going to be with me live. This is next Thursday at Sunny Reds. The show's going to be at 8 o'clock. We'll be up there about 6:30, 7 o'clock, hanging out, shooting the shit, having a couple pints. So if you're in the area again, you want to pop up to Sunny Reds, $1 chicken tenders on Thursday, man, and they're the bomb, too. So anyway, if you want to come up there, say hello to Matt, say hello to Jay, say hello to myself. We'll be doing a show there next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
That excites you, doesn't it?
Oh, I'll be listening, aka I'll be unsubscribing for that day. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really care. They're both fine. Jay's good. Jay's a little bit better. They're both fine. I'm not that drunk yet, so you can ask me later about that.
All right,
but
coming from you, that's actually a compliment. But anyway, so that's stuff that's going on. As for this show, as for today, again, thank you to everybody who's watching this or listening to this. Before we get into some questions that I had submitted, or takes, I should say, that you and I are going to respond to. Micah Parsons gets traded. All right, so I'm going to be honest with you. My first thought was I didn't think it was going to happen. I mean, the rumors have been going out there for a while. It picked up some traction today, and my mindset was just, you know what? He just wants more money. That's the way it's went. Myles Garrett wanted out. Sure. He got more money. Terry McLaurin wanted out. He got more money. I figured this was going to be the same thing. Well, what he wanted, apparently Dallas wasn't willing to pay. Long story short, he goes to the Green Bay Packers. A monster trade. Kenny Clark and 2 first-rounders go back. More importantly, perhaps, Micah Parsons immediately signed a 4-year extension worth like $47 million a year. All right, so I was already planning on asking you this before the show, before the trade, I should say. I put up on Twitter, I put up a poll today, and I said, if you're Brandon Beane, would you trade A.J. Epinesa and 3 first-round picks for Micah Parsons?
Yes.
73% of fans said yes.
Yes.
You say yes as well.
Yes.
All right. Well, let me ask you this then. That doesn't matter.
I throw in like the Sabres too as well, and Shane. And I can't throw in my son because my wife would kill me in that trade. But like, yes, I would totally do all of that.
Well, let me revise this for you now, because now it's a done trade, and now we know what Dallas got. So let's say Kenny Smith and Ed Oliver are relatively equal. Now you're talking, would you trade Ed Oliver and 2 first-round picks?
Bye-bye. Yes.
Really? Now, are you failing to, are you taking into account the fact that you're going to have to scrape up $47 million per year for this guy? I mean, are you accounting for that?
Yes, because you know that meme where that one guy shoots the other guy and then the talk show the talk show set or whatever, that meme. Whoever is dead, that's the salary cap, and I have the gun, and I'm just shooting the salary cap going, yeah, we'll figure it out. Don't worry about you. Yes, I would have. It could have been. Look, Greg T-Bone Thompson said it could have been done in terms of redoing.
I'm going to get to him in a second.
Sure.
Actually, I'm going to show you how.
Okay. Yes, I would have done. Look, a couple of things. First, I'm shocked what they gave up, and that was it. This seems like Jerry Jones was. He's such a putz, that guy. I know I give a lot of crap about Terry Pagula, but thank God he's not Jerry Jones, because I would have left the Bills a long time ago and became a Steelers fan or something. I don't know, but he's an idiot. It seems like he wanted to get rid of him because it was an ego. That's all they got was insane. Like Mac a couple of years ago got that, and Parsons is better than Mac was. That's the only guy I can think of, and this is 6 years and change of a guy who was kind of equivalent in his prime. And I think Parsons was more younger than he was, but yeah, I would do it in a heartbeat. That if I saw on Twitter, you had said I don't think Beane would have been able to do it because of the cap or whatever. He's already paying Josh. Well, Pat, they did pay Von Miller when Josh was still making money. So they do have a history of paying guys a lot of money. Okay, and I know this is more than that, and some of it's who knows how much of it's phony, blah blah blah. We have to see what the cap looks like, and we won't get that till tomorrow, probably. But yeah, you do that, man. And I'll say this, I'll ask you this: in a world where you can pick one player off any roster right now, in the NFL to put on the Bills, I think you Parsons will be in the top 5, right? Yes. So like you move heaven and earth to try to get that done. And I get it. Like we don't know what's happening. I doubt we're gonna hear any inner workings of like maybe the Bills made a call or whatever the case may be. Like we haven't heard any other team interested as of right now as we were recording this, aside from Green Bay doing it. But it was not a lot. I would have done it. Defense, edge rushers are not guys you find anywhere in the draft. You find them in like the first round, like really good ones. Those are where you get them. You get them in the top tier of the draft. And it's also one of those positions where it takes a couple years for most cases for you to really get under your, to become a guy. Jerry Hughes took a while. Mario Williams took a while. Like even like, Kyle Williams kind of did a little bit as well. Like it takes a while. Here's Micah Parsons, who's in his this is his 4th year, and he's already there. Like he's the man. And I would have done it. And look, I'm not trying to be critical of Beane. We don't know all that, as I said, but yeah, I would have definitely done that. I don't care about Connor McGovern or Cyrus O'Torrance or whatever his name is. Like, sorry, bye. Like,
well, I disagree with that part. That part's now you're stretching it too much.
What do you mean I'm stretching it? In what way? You're getting it all pro.
Their offensive line. Their offense is great, Joe, because of their offensive line. So I think you're taking it too far.
Okay, no, I'm not taking it too far because you draft other offensive linemen or something like that. You're not going to keep everyone next year, right? Like, so they're like, I'm not trying to say the offensive line stinks. You like have to cut corners and that's it. Like Deion Dawkins is eventually going to leave. Like he's not a kid anymore. So you have to think about that in like 2-3 years. Like, yeah, I'm saying bye to them because I'll just replace a guard somewhere in the 2nd round next year or somewhere else. Like, come on, dude. You need game breakers. You need game breakers.
Before opinion, let me lay out facts. Before we get back, we'll get back to opinions. No, well, because guess what, Joe? You got to have the money to make the trade. So I'm going to tell you, and I did go to Greg T-Bone Thompson from Cover One, your affectionate nickname for him. Anyway, as far as the trade, Kenny Clark is a 3-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle, so he's not a nobody. And they did give up 2 first-round picks as well. So I said swap.
Okay, well, we know just FYI, Pro Bowl is kind of lame. It's Pro Bowl. Everyone,
he's a really good defensive tackle.
Fine.
All right, I'm not saying he's not elite, but he's a good defensive tackle. He's not a game-changing Micah Parsons type of player. I agree with that. But here's the deal with the Bills. For anyone out there who if you're complaining about the trade, but you're not even going to bother to think about the money part, to me, that's just foolish, and you're not thinking the whole thing through. I want to explain to you that to make the trade happen, like if Brandon Beane called Jerry Jones on Thursday afternoon and said, I want to do this, I'll give you whatever the compensation was, and they agree on it, the Bills physically could not make this trade until they got $21 million under the cap, because you had to be $21 million at the cap at the time to make the trade. And the Bills are like pretty much they're literally up against the cap right now. So to get to $21 million, this is what they would have had to do. Okay, ready? Connor McGovern, you extend. This is all per Greg Thompson. Greg, you extend Connor McGovern. That could create about $4 million. Obviously, it's a good move. That's probably the least of what you would complain about. You would restructure Deion Dawkins, which could create $9.8 million. Obviously, that's a lot of money, but now you're committing yourself cap-wise to him being on your team for probably another year or so more than you wanted him to. But you could do it. Teron Johnson, another one. You would have to restructure him. That would get you to $3.2 million right there. That's for him. And then you would have to cut Daquan Jones, which would save you $5.5 million. That could give you $22 million in immediate cap space. So you extend McGovern, you restructure Deion, you restructure Teron Johnson, and you cut Daquan Jones. Is that doable? Yes, it is doable. But you also got to look at future ramifications. And aging Teron Johnson and aging Deion Dawkins, you're stuck with them. You know how they were stuck with Dawson Knox when you didn't want to be? Well, that's what you're creating with those contracts. I'm just saying. But so that gets you there, all right? Plus, if you have to cut Daquan Jones, now next year when you're already in cap trouble, plus now you got Micah Parsons, if you cut Daquan Jones, you're taking $3.7 million and you're pushing that in dead cap into next year. For me, I think, bottom line, based on all that, it just didn't work financially. And I know you and a lot of people out there don't like to think about it, But we saw it last year, and we've seen it
You
here.
just laid it out for everyone how this can work.
I'll tell you, the cap is semi-real. That's how you get to 21 under.
Great.
But if you're paying Micah next year, and you're forced in the worst contract with Deion Dawkins and Teron Johnson that you can't get out of because you restructured them, just like I explained, like you are currently with Dawson Knox. I just don't think it would work financially. I think the cap is at least semi-real, and this is an example of why.
Okay, fine, whatever. I mean, they could still make 21 million. It's not like Green Bay. I don't even know what was Green Bay's cap before this trade happened. Like they paid Jordan Love. Like he's not on his rookie deal anymore.
Yeah, they just paid him like yesterday or today.
No, Jordan Love got paid a while ago. Like he got paid a year ago. He got paid.
Well, between him and Micah, are you sure? Maybe I could be wrong. Anyway,
I don't know.
He
got paid. Like he got paid, but it's a crazy move for the Packers because the Packers never do anything like this. This is kind of a little bit off there. They're usually the same as Beane. Let me ask you this. And look, I get what you're saying about the whole like, well, they couldn't do this because of it would be hard. We get that.
Plus, you lose Ed Oliver and 2 first-round picks.
Oh, you hate Ed Oliver. You can't stand him. Anyways, but those first-round picks, they're going to be late in the draft. And I
agree with that.
Two things. You have a cheat code in Josh Allen, who is good. If he's healthy, he's good to get your team to 10, 11 wins a year, I would say. So that's when you risk it. Like, this isn't like Mario Williams coming here and he doesn't give dividends, where the Bills make the playoffs. The reason why they didn't is because they didn't have Josh Allen. They have Josh Allen. Like, this is a cheat code. So even if like other parts of the team fall apart, but you still have the star on the defense, like think about that. You would have had a star on defense and a star on offense that would be here for the next 5 to 10 years. Like that sounds great, like to me. But here's the one thing I'll say, and like I know this is like fantasy world, but do you think Brandon Beane has an issue with signing guys, extending them maybe a little bit too early?
No, absolutely not. Actually, no. I think he's more times than not he's done it intelligently. I think he saved money. He saved a lot of money by signing Spencer Brown.
Okay, but sure, but don't you think? Okay. He re-signed your boy Dawson Knox like after he had one great year, a good year, and that turned out like shit. Trey Way, he extended him and he didn't wait and he blew out his ACL. I know that's not on him, but that happens.
Tyler Bass too, not as big of a deal, but Tyler Bass was not a good.
Yeah,
he was
he extended him. Extension. Yeah, and that's not. I'm just saying like you can always kind of wait a little bit out. Like Greg Rousseau, this would have been his 4th year because the 5th year option didn't kick in. What year is he in? All I'm saying is I'm not trying to. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Is like, does he? Because he always talks about like, oh, I want to like develop and then we sign our guys. And I feel like sometimes, and I get why he does it. Like you said, he saves money, but the other side of the coin is for me is like, well, you think you save money, but if a guy struggles, then you can probably get him for less than. If he struggled, like if Dawson Knox had the same year the next year, which he didn't have he had like 1 touchdown, he had 45 catches. It wasn't nearly as good as the year he got. And then maybe the rate goes down a little bit. And I'm just wondering if at times maybe he does it because he gets so happy when they find someone they really like that they want to extend him right away. Because I say all this because let's just say this whole thing was happening in March, and there's been smoke with this for a while now with Parsons, like.
Yeah.
You could have maybe done the deal. You know what I mean? Like, this is like devil's advocate. Because, again, I just have it to where I think at times they really, one day we should go through the extensions. This is like an off-season topic. And go through all the extensions, like when they got them. And, like, was it, like, could they have waited a little bit longer or did they mess up by doing it? And I do think that they've done well so far. But we're going to see. Because they extended, like, 5 guys this off-season. Like, if Shakir or Cook hit a wall or something for whatever reason, then we're going to be like, well, maybe.
Well, I mean, you got to take some calculated gambles because if you, let's say you don't, all right, Greg Rousseau is a perfect example. He's getting $20 million. Actually, Christian Benford's even a better one right now. He's getting like 18 or so million. If he plays this year like he did last year and he gets in the market, he's getting $25 million a year or more. So
right, but if he struggles and he gets another concussion. Sure. And I'm trying to be, again, I'm just doing this in the devil's advocate. Like, I get it. I'm just saying, like, Beane, in my opinion, he does have a tendency to be like, hey, he likes to jump that gun very quickly with extending his own guys. Like those are his guys, in my opinion. Like he does it early. I'm not saying that's wrong or bad, and if we went through all of them, like I said, the Dawson Knox one's the only thing I can come up with. Like, I would have waited a little bit longer because he wasn't that good and he had one decent year and they couldn't wait to.
Bottom line, though, dude, Josh Allen got the most guaranteed money in NFL history, and then you're going to give the highest non-paid quarterback history on your roster as well.
Yes.
You can't keep everybody. You can't do it, man.
I'm just saying, you're right. Like, look, they've already paid a bunch of people, but I'm saying you can have a high-priced quarterback and have a high-priced defensive lineman edge. Jordan Love got paid, and they're doing that right now. The Eagles have a lot of high-paid talent there all over that roster right now. Well, so,
who has the money and who doesn't is obviously a big factor. But I'll say this.
Sure.
The fact that Dallas traded Micah Parsons inside the conference and not to the AFC tells me that nobody in the AFC had as good of an offer for him as Green Bay. Green Bay's a contender in the NFL. They're absolutely a contender in the NFC.
I agree. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you have to admit, Pat, what they gave up is not that much for him.
That's what I know, because I don't think other teams were willing to give up more, because probably beyond it's not just the compensation, it's the compensation and the money. If you signed Micah Parsons or if you extend him, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, so we're clear, but I'm just saying, if you brought Micah Parsons in here, you could say goodbye to probably 2 or 3 guys that you probably would like to keep here long term that you're not going to be able to. You're going to have to move a lot of people around. You're going to have to get rid of some contracts. Just a lot of shit to.
No, I get that. I think to go back to your initial question, like, did other teams have better offers? I think we'll find this out. I think Jerry Jones just got pissed off because this has been like a feud that's been going on for months, and like ESPN talks about it every day. Micah Parsons is sleeping on the sidelines on a table. He's and Jerry Jones is coming out being like, I don't care. Like, he's a putz, Jerry Jones.
But there's no way he trades him to Green Bay unless Green Bay had the best offer.
No, I'm telling you, I think maybe they just said, screw this, let's do this as fast as possible. I think this was all posturing, like you had originally said in your open, which was like, oh, we're just going to play the hard-ass negotiation game like with Myles Garrett and the guy from the Bengals and all this sort of stuff. And I think at the end of the day, he just got up and was like, the hell with this. I'm Jerry Jones. I'm a dumbass. And like, I don't know if he called all those teams, but who knows? I don't know.
I never thought he was going to be here. So I consider this a W, and I consider this a W for Buffalo, like I said on Twitter, because Kansas City didn't get him. Baltimore didn't get him. I had a buddy who texted, and it was actually not that far-fetched of a text. He goes, I will probably lose 50% of my interest in this season if Baltimore finds a way to get Micah Parsons. Can you imagine the Baltimore Ravens if they found a way to get Micah Parsons on that roster? Like I said, or Kansas City, or Denver, or Cincinnati. But he goes to the NFC, which, that tells me far and away that was the best offer that they got in whatever amount of time they were taking offers. And B, keep them in that conference. That's going to be. Now, to your point, I will say, Joe Smith tweeted at us right before the show, and he brought up a good point. He said that Jim Kelly was surrounded by Hall of Fame players. That's a fair point. But I'll also say, counterpoint, they were all drafted. Bruce Smith with Andre Reed, Thurman. These guys were all drafted. You know what I mean? They were drafted and developed here. So it's not like they went out and got a bunch of players. They got James Lofton.
Yeah, but here's the thing. But Pat, that's a different era. There wasn't free agency during most of that era, so you had to draft your guys. But hang a banner that says it's a win for Buffalo because it was a trade to the other conference. That's just dumb. I'm sorry. Look, I get what you're saying in terms of like, oh hey, like could they have done that trade because of the economics? Who knows? Probably not. Maybe, but I would have definitely done it if it was possible. I don't need role guys.
Just keep in mind that you're getting rid of Ed Oliver. I don't care about those first 2 picks, but I do care about them. So you're giving rid of your first round pick twice.
Good. I don't have to watch the draft. Awesome.
You're going to be. You think you're in cap hell now? Just wait 2 years.
They're not in cap hell though,
what
bro.
What are you talking about? They're in one of the. First of all, they're dead last right now with cap space in the NFL. Literally right now.
Because Pat, they spent a ton of money.
Yeah.
Okay, first off, they'll restructure those deals. They signed a bunch of guys, so like, and they signed free agents, but they'll just restructure some things. But hey, if you don't want to, if you don't want that because you don't want a star player because you want to have role guys all over the roster, that's fine. I don't. I think this is a star-driven league. You get a star on your defensive side of the ball that can help everyone else. Like, that's how you win in the Super Bowls, Pat. There's all pros all over the freaking Eagles. The Chiefs had Chris Jones, who is a stud on the defensive side of the ball.
You
do the Bills have that stud?
You got to do it in March, like you said earlier during this
Okay,
debate.
well, don't. Okay, well,
you can't
sure,
now.
But I'm just saying,
it's
don't.
Too late.
Well, whatever. Fine. Okay. Fine. Great. Okay, but I'm just saying. You're saying, they can't have you can't have that sort of shit with, like, you can have a high priced guy. Okay. I get why you can't do it now, even though your boy T-Bone said you could, and I would just been like, hey, let's just, like, the cap's going to go up, and other guys are going to leave. Like, Deion Dawkins is going to leave at some point. He's older. I don't know. Whatever. I'm a no guts, no glory kind of guy. I know you look at the cap every day, you and the cap bros, and they're all annoying, and I get that it's kind of real. Don't laugh at me like that. I'm right, dude. I'm right. Look at the Eagles. The Eagles are always against the cap, but they restructure shit and they kick it down the path. Oh, no, they're going to be in cap hell for 1 year. Who cares? Win the Super Bowl.
Wanting
Anyway,
to
it's
do
fine.
something and being able to do something are just two different things. Or
Whatever.
I should say, being able to
hang
do
a banner.
something without
It's a W.
paying. It is a W.
Yeah,
Stay
hang
in
a
the
banner.
NFC.
Hang a banner because you figured out that tweet while you're on the toilet.
By
I
the way,
don't care.
real quick, I don't want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, but I will say, imagine being a Cowboys fan right now.
Oh, it's glorious.
Jesus.
I hate Dallas.
So do I.
I hate the Cowboys. I hate Jerry Jones. I don't even know why he's in the Hall of Fame for no reason other than he's like a billionaire. He's a jackass. He should have been fired 100 times. He's a douche. I'm so ashamed. Like, I'm so pissed. I'm not to go on a tangent, but it's like, it sucks that the Bills had to lose to that asshole. That they couldn't lose to another owner like the fucking, I don't know, the Green Bay owner. It's not even an owner, but they have like a stock exchange or whatever the hell they have. But no, we had to lose to that freaking putz. And he's just I hate him. Like, get him on. Anyway, he's a putz.
Let's switch gears there.
Thank God.
Earlier today on Thursday, today being Thursday, they unveiled the Bills rivalry week unis. Man, what's your take on these? The UB Bulls road jerseys to me. Yeah.
I don't even know what the UB Bulls jerseys look like. I'm a putz.
They look like that.
Yeah. No, I like them. I think they're cool. I think it's sharp. $200 though for a jersey. I saw some guy, a content bro, posted that. Man, that's a lot. I don't even know what jerseys are anymore these days. Like, I'm more into, like, look, I don't get jerseys anymore. Like, I went through a stage where I got a bunch, and then I'm like, I never freaking wore them because you could only wear them. You only wear them in a little game or if you're going to a sports bar, and I didn't go to enough to justify it. But I'm all about, like, getting Bills hoodies or hats, and I've seen the hats that have that logo on it. They look tight. Like, they look really good. Like, that's very cool. They're different colors. It's crazy. Like, this is the first full-fledged new uniform they've had since the color rush in 2016. It's been a while, but I think they look sharp. I like them. I got no complaints. They are a little bit like, I saw yards per pass tweeted this, good follow, but they look almost a little bit like the Vikings. Like, the Vikings had the same one like 1 or 2 years ago where it was like white, and it's the same design almost. They look almost identical, which I was like, like, you had to ruin that. It didn't take it. It was just one of those things. Like, they're kind of similar, but I like them. I mean, I'm glad the NFL, is getting ahead now when it comes to making more jerseys. Like, I don't even know how many alternates teams have now, like 3, 4 now, and I'm glad they're doing that because, like, soccer does that every year where they always have different uniforms. They tweak them, but they always have like a third one that's always totally different than what they had, and I'm glad that they're doing that. So I like it. Am I going to buy a jersey? No. But no. But I will. The hoodie, man. They had a hoodie. It was like the logo on it. It's $110. I was like, Jesus, that's a lot.
Well, you spend $90 on those flights of Rue, whatever the hell.
Yeah, that's 70 to 80. But that if it's 70 to 80, I'll do that. 110, dude. That's a lot. And it also has one thing I don't like. I don't know. Like, I know you're a hoodie guy. Do you like logos or signage on the back of your hoodie? Like on the back?
No. Not
And
really.
this one, the hoodie it has Buffalo written on the back.
It depends. It depends. Maybe if it looks good enough, maybe Buffalo.
Yeah.
No, I don't want nothing with.
Yeah, and that's what the hoodie, which is cool on the front, the back has Buffalo on the back, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't really like. I do have a couple hoodies that have a design on, like the Roots of Fight do have some, but they look cool because it's like, I don't know. I don't need Buffalo. If it was like maybe another logo on the back, or I don't fucking know, too tough for them, just right for us or something, maybe. But
if anybody, by the way, is in the live chat, because we are live on the video side, and you happen to be watching the UB game, throw the score up in the chat. In my podcast studio here, I don't have a TV.
Why?
So
They're gonna when they listen tomorrow. Well, I'll tell you right now. You just I don't have to listen to you.
Anyway,
I'll look at the scores.
Getting back to these jerseys. No, listen, but I'm not a jersey guy. I don't buy jerseys because guys don't stay on teams long enough. I like looking at jerseys. Like when I go to Bills camp every year, I love to see old jerseys in the crowd, and you always see a handful of obscure players. So that's pretty cool. I'm definitely going to buy a hat. But no, I'm not buying no jersey. I think they're fine. I'm not buying one. I'll get drunk. I'll have pizza or wings and spill shit on there. I'll 100%
No, that's the
that.
one thing I'll say. Like,
yeah, they're
I'm a slob, and I get shit on my shit very easily. If I had that jersey, I couldn't go outside with it because I know I'll get a stain on it. It'll be over. Like, especially at tailgate, forget that. I'll say this. I don't know how big of I know you're not a jersey guy. It's 0-0, by the way. I looked up the score right now. Stunning, great game, it seems like. But I digress. I like having, like, jerseys framed. Like, if I had...
They're playing a Big Ten team on the road, dude.
Well, look, I don't care about UB. I told you I'm not a UB guy. You are.
No shit. I learned that when we tried talking about Shawn Dolac last episode.
Did you light a candle for him and, like, send him a dick pic and congratulate him, dude?
I'm not even going to talk to you about that.
Okay, no, but I like, if I had a man cave, I would consider getting a jersey and framing it and putting it like in a man cave. Like, that's something I would do. Like, if you have like the space for it, that's the only way I would buy a jersey. Like, hey, I'm going to buy a Josh Allen jersey, frame it. It will cost a lot because you got to frame that shit. It costs a lot anyways.
One last thing, then we'll take a quick break. I'll say about these jerseys that I think is stupid. They're not taking orders for them until September 10th. That's dumb. Like, strike when the iron's hot. Like, right now, if I loved and I was a jersey guy, $190, I'd be like, oh, shit, man. But you know what? I'll pull out that card. I'll order it right now today. Come September 10th, I'm going to have found something dumb to spend my money on that's not going to be that. So I'm not going to end up ordering it all. That is stupid.
But that's how it is for, I think, all the teams. It's kind of weird. Like,
yeah, it's really dumb.
It's
anyway,
weird.
Let's take a real quick break, like 3 seconds on the video side, and then we'll be right back. All right, back here, Joe from Queens, an utterly unproductive first half of this episode where we fight about Micah Parsons, who was never going to come to Buffalo, by the way. That was never going to happen.
Well, we don't know yet. I'm so... What is with you and you can't have all these high... The Bills aren't like... Who's high priced there?
It's not Brandon Beane's ammo. It's just
That's
not.
bullshit.
I'm not saying
Pat,
it should be. No.
Pat, I have to put this up to my mouth right now, the microphone. They gave Von Miller $120 million. That was by Brandon Johnson Beane. I don't know what his middle name is, but I'm going to call it Johnson.
Was he? Is his middle name Johnson for real, or are you just making that?
No, I just made that up. They also traded for Stephon Diggs. You are acting like Brandon Beane hasn't done this before.
All right,
he has done this. He's done this. It's done.
All right, let me get.
I get it. You want to do it? I would have done it. I would have traded you too. Out of here.
Someone just told me in the chat, take the L, Pat. I take the L.
Thank you. Thank you, Marino's legacy. My God. Anyways, go ahead.
What Marino legacy is that, by the way?
Oh, you know what?
Is that Dan Marino's legacy? Is that Joe Marino's legacy?
Oh, it could be the Podfather's Marino.
Is that Anthony Marino's legacy now?
Timo Marino. I'm kidding, Timo Marino. I like you.
All right, let's get to a couple comments that I was going to respond to, but I saved these for this episode. At the Sports Bully 1 said, I love this notion that the Bills' defense is so complex and intricate, it requires player coaches to help teach it to the young guys. The same system that surrenders 30 points every postseason loss. All right, so let me put it to you this way. There was a lot of this. There seems to be the overall sentiment, and of course we're primarily talking about Jordan Poyer and Jordan Phillips both being signed to the practice squad this week for the Bills. Two old, literally old veterans are back in Buffalo. And, there's a nice portion of people who seem to be happy about that. But there's also a lot of people who are like, how many times are we going to, how much mentorship does this team need? How many times you got to keep bringing these same freaking guys back? To that point, does that make sense to you? Like, what's up with this defense that these players just, how do they not learn the system? What's so complex about it? I go back to the Kansas City 2021 game, fucking 25 yards off the line of scrimmage with 13 seconds left, man. I mean, what's complex about that? I agree. I don't get it, dude. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not hating on Jordan Poyer. I'm not hating on Jordan Phillips. I like them both. Phillips maybe a little bit more as a player, at least. I don't get it. I don't understand this. I'm not too thrilled about this signing, and neither are other people. In fact, let me read you the next one because we can kind of lump these together, and then you could comment. Jay Tucker said, "What is this mentorship garbage? Doesn't anyone want to coach on this team, or do they just assign guys to do it for them? Or do they just sign guys to do it for them? If my ownership and management kept bringing back retreads, I'd start to question whether or not they actually know what they're doing. They lack talent assessment." I don't know. What do you think about when you hear these comments?
I have mixed feelings about like what's happening with Phillips coming back and Poyer coming back because they're kind of like the same thing. On one hand, this from the team's perspective, the Bills have always wanted like a veteran in the room somehow, even though Poyer isn't going to suit up as of right now. You go back to like, when they first got there, like they had like a veteran guy in each room. Like Kyle Williams was the veteran on defensive line and Eric Wood on the offensive line. I'm talking like 2017. They had younger guys there, draft picks. So like they've always wanted that. Do I agree with that? I don't know. It's weird because like every example you can say, like, look at Josh Allen. Did Josh Allen have a mentor? No. It was Nate Peterman and A.J. McCarron for a summer, and like Derek Anderson came for a cup of coffee, and Matt Barkley. Like those aren't mentors. Like, and he's the best player on the team. So you can go either way with that. In terms of mentorships, I feel that when it comes to the rest of it, like on one hand, I'm like, it's the practice squad. Like, why do I care? It's the practice squad. There are guys that play snaps, but they're not like going there for a while. Like they're not there for the entire season. So that's one hand where it's like, why am I tripping out about that? On the other hand, yeah, it's like, how many mentors do you need? Like Jordan Poyer was here 2 years ago. He was with like the majority of the defensive backs. The only guy he wasn't playing with was Cole Bishop. So it's like, what mentorship do you need? Cam Lewis has been here for like 6 years. Tyler Rapp has been here for a while. So it's like, what do you need that for? I think they signed this guy, and look, practice squad guys are practice squad guys. They're supposed to be not very good, for the most part. Or you don't know they're going to be good, but more than likely they're not going to be good. I think they wanted to give him and Phillips, they like them. They're lifers. Let's give them a job. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where they're at maybe. And I think they kind of wanted to be nice. But with that being said, we go to Jordan Poyer, the player. I don't want him on the field, and he's not. He was
awful last year. I mean, he was as bad as it gets at safety last year. He was worse than DeMar Hamlin, and that's coming from me. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, look,
maybe he wasn't worse than DeMar.
No, he was pretty. He was a highlight reel of bad plays last year. Now
he was.
You can make the case where, hey, the system didn't work for him in Miami. He's only 3 years removed from being an all-pro, and the Bills haven't had too many all-pros. So maybe it was the system was an issue. I know in 2023, he wasn't nearly as good, but he still made some plays. He made that key play in the playoff game against the Chiefs after so it's one of those things where I think there's the people who are against it. I think there's some fatigue of bringing back guys. It's like, and when the expectations are as high as they are, and they're just high, man. Like we all like think they could be Super Bowl bound, blah blah blah. Everything gets scrutinized to like, and it's probably being overdone, in terms of that. So I get it from both perspectives because on one hand I'm like, it's just the practice squad. Doesn't really matter. Like, you know, who cares? But on the other side, I get it. Like why are we bringing back all these older guys? Don't talk to me about mentorship. Like, you and I looked at the practice squads before for the last couple of years, and they didn't really bring back. They weren't bringing back, I don't know, Frank Gore, like this, you know, senior Frank Gore, to be like, oh, we're going to put him on. They weren't bringing back too many. Like, oh, it's the bloodline, you know, of McDermott. So
let me interrupt you and ask you a quick question. You could see, Joe, I mean, this is a technical question. You could see comments, right?
Yes.
On your end. Here, do me a favor. I have to run and grab something. I'm going to be about like a minute and a half. I'm going to pull you up on the full screen. Look at a comment or two and read it, and just handle business by yourself for like about 90 seconds, and I'll be right back.
That's incredible. Okay. And thanks. You're terrible. Yeah, and everyone, you can like send me some questions as well. So, but yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. I'm not going to die in the hill because Poyer's back, either one way or another. It's just kind of one of those things where I'm sure a lot of signings of the practice squad happen all the time like this, where they bring back an old man River. But you know, I miss the days of when the practice squad used to be just 5 guys and no one gave a shit. Then COVID happened and everyone had to get like 17. And now we're like overreacting to all this sort of thing. So, you know, it's just stupid. So let's go to the comments. Matt C. Not every team has an Allen or Mahomes. Again, Mahomes has been to 4 Super Bowls. Is Allen just as good or better? How has he reached one? It's not the GM's fault. I mean, I think Allen, you know, is just as good as Mahomes. But obviously rings do matter in terms of trying to figure out who is better. Yes, Michael Curlusto Pat might be taking a crap. I don't know what the heck happened to him. He doesn't tell me anything. So, you know, we'll see. I'll say this, though, going back to the practice squad people, you know, and even going back to last week when they had Gabe Davis in for a visit, you know, Gabe Davis, Jordan Phillips, and Jordan Poyer, what do they all have in common? They're all a part of a unit of units that I am very concerned about. Like wide receiver room, I'm concerned about. Defensive tackle room. After Ed Oliver, it's a mixed bag. We don't know what the hell's going to happen. The safety room is a disaster, or not a disaster. I shouldn't say disaster, but it's up for grabs. We're not really sure. So, in my opinion, like those needs that they've looked at, those are needs that we've been talking about for a while. So, it's definitely one of those things that, you know, I think a practice squad is like, you know, get the better players, at least I would, then, you know, and they're maybe getting people for need. But again, it's the practice squad. Like, who cares? It's the practice squad. And I'm going to channel my Allen Iverson thing. Oh, my God. How was their dump, buddy? What the heck happened?
No, I had to, the keys were locked out. I was locked out. I had the keys. I let somebody in from my studio, and I got a text. I was like, oh, shit, I had the key. I couldn't, they had the key to let them in.
Anyways, and we gained about 1,000 views just because you got off the show, thank God. So, one thing I brought up, Pat, and you can like kind of, I thought it was a good point. I talked about how within the last week they brought in Gabe Davis for a workout, they signed Jordan Phillips, and then they signed Jordan Poyer. Wide receiver, defensive tackle, safety. Those are the 3. Would you say the biggest concerns on this roster? Defensive tackle, safety, wide receiver room.
Only one of them. Safety.
Which one? But safety. No, I'm saying...
I think corner is second right after safety.
You think... Okay, but you would say, though, defensive tackle after Oliver is kind of a concern. Like,
no.
Why wouldn't you say that?
I think it might be arguably one of the strongest positions on the team, though.
Well, there's guys that are not playing the first month who are on steroids or whatever the heck they're doing right now.
They got 2 rookie defensive tackles that I like a ton.
Oh, God, yeah, you got because you watched practice and they're going to the Super. They were awesome. Okay, well, anyways, I think you could objectively make the point that it is the defensive tackle is a little bit of a mystery after Ed Oliver, and the wide receivers are like...
That's fair.
That's all I'm saying. Okay, I know
Dwayne Carter going into year 2, a big mystery, and he did nothing this summer.
Mystery, yeah, and we don't know any. And I know you got the rookies going to the Hall of Fame already because Podfather broke down the film. But
Jordan, I'll give you a prediction here. I think Jordan Phillips is going to be on the active roster sometime this year, whether it's for Dwayne Carter, if maybe Larry Ogunjobi never even plays here. I think he'll be on this roster. I think Jordan Phillips or Jordan Poyer is a little more iffy, but I also don't think, look, Jordan Poyer, like last year, Micah Hyde signed late. It's a big difference. Micah Hyde came at the end of the year. I really do think that was about mentorship because there was opportunity. There were injuries up the ass. Kareem Jackson played ahead of Micah Hyde, including the playoffs. So Micah Hyde just wasn't ready. Jordan Poyer's here before week 1. I think he's here to play at some point. I hope he
Look,
doesn't
injuries
have to play.
happen. I mean, look, all 3 safeties have been injured in the past that they have there. So it's very possible he's going to be back there at some point. Poyer.
Do you think the Bills are depending too much, or worried too much about mentorship, though, kind of right now, as opposed to saying, you know what, these are guys. Let's take some more darts and throw them at the board and see if we can get ourselves a diamond in the rough. Let's see if we can get a young talent from another team that we feel like maybe we could develop into something. You know what Jordan Phillips and Jordan Poyer are. So I think that's a fair question to ask. Do you think that
are they obsessed with it? I mean, yeah, they want guys who know their system, their culture, and all that shit. But I think a lot of teams do that crap. I even think the previous coaches had probably done that. I just don't remember. I think Dick Geron probably brought in a veteran who wasn't. Remember Eddie Robinson when Greg Williams brought him in? Oh, he's a coach because he's
Chad Pennington broke his ankles.
Yeah.
That's what I'll always remember.
I'll remember that too. But those coaches do that, whether you like it or not. Now, is it overkill with the Bills? Possibly. We're gonna see what happens. If Jordan Poyer's playing, yeah, it might be tough. Maybe they'll scheme it better. Who the hell knows? I don't know. But
let me say this about Jordan Poyer.
Oh,
I'll say this. I liked him a lot.
You love his family. I got it. Yeah, go ahead.
His brother, man. That's the one downside of Jordan Poyer being back, by the way. A full season of Jeremiah Poyer tweets is not something that I'm looking forward to. And I'll be very upfront about that. I don't give a shit. But anyway, I hated the fact that Jordan Poyer got cut last year at the time. And also that he went to Miami. It felt like he always wanted to be in Miami. Obviously, he loves Miami. He hates that organization, though. Holy shit.
Yeah,
anyway, more on that in a second. It is hilarious now. Anyway, I paid such close attention to him, and I actually did watch a little bit of Miami All-22 on defense only because I just wanted to look at Poyer every week because I hated DeMar Hamlin out being out there, man. It made me sick. You know how I feel about that. Jeez. And I'm like, yo, I want to see a Poyer, go a dumb move. But you know what, dude? Jordan Poyer was just terrible with Miami last year. Now, look, there's lots of factors. Sometimes a player might be going through something emotionally that we don't know about, and that might affect their on-field performance, the fit with the team, the culture, physical ailment that maybe we don't know about. Like Teron Johnson played through a torn labrum last year in the playoffs. We had no idea until well after the fact. I don't know what the circumstances were. Maybe there were some, maybe there weren't, but I don't need to be seeing Jordan Poyer on the field this year. Jordan Hancock, hopefully, if Jordan Poyer can help Jordan, all these freaking Jordans on this team, man. If he can get Jordan Hancock ready in any way, that alone would be a big W. By the way, I was asking that as a question. Is there too much mentorship on this team? I say no. I got no problem with these moves.
It's practice, and I was saying this while you were taking a dump, or no, getting a key, whatever you were doing. I'm so the worst thing that ever to happen was the practice squad got extended to 17 players. During COVID, it used to be 5, and no one gave a shit.
Well,
and
it's
now
basically
it's
16. But yes, you're still right.
It was no one, and now it's a team, and it's we're overanalyzing it. I mean, if they were on the team still, suited up, sure, but it's just, I think, as I said, there's a lot of that, but I also understand people being sick and tired of bringing back the old faces. And we talked about this, I think, last week. Every guy they brought back has not been good. When they bring them back, hasn't been good like they were before. Cole Beasley was not good when he came back here. John Brown was not good when he came back here.
They bring so many guys back, man.
Yeah,
I wonder if other teams do it. Maybe they do and we don't realize it, but it sure feels like the Bills bring back.
The Eagles kind of do. I'm trying to think about the Patriots, during the Belichick era. I think they did bring back some guys who left and came back. I think they did. But I like I said, there's so much pressure right now. We're all on edge. The fans are, and everyone. When it comes
I'll say this. Somebody pointed this out, and it's not wrong. And I'm not being critical, especially here with people. I love people coming here and chiming in and offering their opinions, no matter what side of the fence you are on anything.
Get to the finish. Go. Why?
There seems to be a lot of negativity with fans talking about this team, whether it's in conversations physically, whether it's in social media settings. Like, this is a team that's been really, really good now for several years. And I get the frustration of not getting to the Super Bowl yet, but man, it could be worse. We could be the Dallas Cowboys right now, or we could be the Miami Dolphins. It's just a lot of negative vibes, it kind of feels like, for a team that's got the MVP quarterback and is a very good football team, man. And they're right in the mix. Now, Marino's Legacy just brought this up in the comments. I'll pull it up here live. It says because they haven't won a championship yet. That's fair. I get it. There's also a sense of frustration. I'm not trying to bash people who are being negative. I get it. It just, if you didn't know any better, dude, I just feel like.
Here's the problem. You have an IV to Bill's Twitter. You're a content bro. You live and die by it. This is the problem. You get caught up in the Twitter vortex. I've talked to you before how like I have my little text thread of my Bills friends, and we don't talk about like, hey, we said, oh, Poyer came back. Okay. Like that's it. We're not like dying and like, this is the problem. Like, yeah, they're gonna be negative people on Twitter or Switch social media. Yeah. I think people are edgy and they just want to get the season done. The Bills. And this is why I hate August so much, because it's just an influx of just bullshit that in a week or two, it's all going to not matter. It may not matter at all that Jordan Phillips and Jordan Poyer are on this team because they may not even play. And we're going to forget about all this crap. Or Terrell Shavers making the roster. And it's like, he might not even do it. He might be like your boy Lancaster Joe and not really play this year. And that's just how it is. Like right now, it's just antsy. It's just this is what happens when the Bills are 24/7 in that town, and
that's fair.
You just can't get away from it. Like I live in the beautiful borough of Queens, and like I can kind of get away from it a little bit, but it's easy. I can get brought in. Like you text me, and I'm looking on Twitter, and I want to strangle some Cover One bros, and it happens. So
our friend Kevin Snow in the chat a little bit ago told me to watch my language. So
I think he was joking.
Swearing.
I think he was joking.
I think I've had like one or two F-bombs this whole show, actually. I know what you're saying about the practice squad, and by and large, you're right. There's been a couple gems, though, that, hey, Jason Peters was a practice squad guy when he first started with
God, we're going 20 years ago? Okay.
There's not a lot, but, I mean, I looked
it up. Was C.B. Johnson a practice squad guy?
No, not that I know of anyway.
Okay. Yeah, you don't do any research.
Well, I did some. I looked up. I was like, great players who started out on practice squads, and it was like James Harrison and Kurt Warner, Jason Peters, like I said, Arian Foster, a few others. Not many. Like we talked about it earlier privately, it's kind of about just coming up and contributing when you have to. Hell, bro, Dane Jackson might have to come up from the practice squad, and I still think he's got a good chance to start week 1 against the Ravens, even though he's not even on the team right now. Let's get to a few more of these. Okay. Timothy says his wife, and he's talking about Jordan Poyer, so of course he's talking about Rachel Bush. God. He goes, his wife is going to lose her shit when they get their first NYSEG electric bill. Yo, I've been going all week on this. $461 electric bill I got this month.
Yeah.
$387 last month. I looked it up, like my payment for each month. About 6-7 months ago, my electric bill was about $140 to $150 a month, going back like the last 2 years. Now all of a sudden it's literally $350 to $500 a month, man. Just freaking nuts. Anyway.
When Zoran wins New York City, she's going to lose her mind and probably live tweet that she's never coming back here again.
Well, she'll be that's New York City. Fortunately, he's not playing for the New York Jets. Phil the golfer said this is the best front seven the Bills have had during the McBeane era. Yeah, maybe.
Hold on, let me think. 2022 was really good. Like Vaughn was there. No, I think 2022, man. You had Tremaine, you had Milano as your linebackers, then you had Von Miller, in his kind of in his prime. Ed Oliver,
yeah, for a half season, sure.
Greg Rousseau was still there.
Jordan Phillips was was out at 17.
Look, I don't care I know you love Joey Bosa and you got him going to the Bills Hall of Fame. Joey Bosa, Von Miller when he got here was better than Joey Bosa is today. Like in 2022, before his injuries, like Von Miller was on his A game. Won a Super Bowl MVP. Like he was on his A game. Like Joey Bosa is not what Von Miller was in 2022 at the start. He is at his level and maybe better now, but then like no,
that's
you
fair.
can't.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. And like I said, jokes aside, Jordan Phillips was good in 2022. Shaq Lawson, I believe, was on that team. It was a backup I'm talking about. He was pretty good. So yeah, I'd say probably 2022. And like you said,
2022.
Edmonds,
in my opinion, that was probably the most talented team they had under McBean. I think so.
And Diggs, what? Tremaine Edmonds that's the one year where Tremaine Edmonds was really, really good. Because then he went out and got that mega deal after.
And Milano was an all-pro.
He made all-pro there. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And it's just right. That year will always be, not to go down the fucking rabbit hole of remember wins, but like if injuries killed that team, and that would be one of those, like, they had a lot of talent there, man. Like Michael Hyde gets hurt in the second game of the season. DeMar Hamlin almost dies, and there, the one guy, there's a couple other guys I'm probably missing that got hurt, and
Ryan. So Ryan says, I'm going to read both of these because they can lead into one point here. Ryan said Curtis Samuel keeps missing practice after practice. Meanwhile, Jimmy Charlo is sleeping in a tent on the practice field. That's kind of from this week. Did you watch this week's Hard Knocks yet?
I have not. No. All
right. Well, maybe
you can go ahead.
That won't make any. That won't make sense to you. This week's episode of Hard Knocks, it was heavily featured KJ Hamler, of course, who got cut, but Jimmy Charlo, he got cut, but he's back on the practice squad anyway. Dude did not leave the facility. He was like the last to leave the facility every single night. Like he is there literally till it closes. It was pretty fun. By far, to me, the highlight of this latest episode was the time that they spent with Jimmy Charlo, man. He's just such a likable dude. And he's making plays. He earned his keep to at least get on this practice squad. So good for him. But anyway, I think that comment, well, I mean, it was props to Jimmy Charlo, but it's also like, what the hell's going on with Curtis Samuel, man? Dude just don't want, not that he doesn't want to, he just doesn't practice. He gets, he finally gets over an injury, now he's sick. It's just, I don't know, man. I thought he was going to get traded, and I just don't see anybody wanting to trade for him. I don't know, man. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's a ragtag wide receiver room as always, and he's definitely. I don't know what's going on with him either.
Well, let me read this comment to you. I don't think you needed to watch the last Hard Knocks to be able to have an opinion on this. We're getting near the end of the show too. Omar Kelly, a Miami Dolphins reporter who's had pretty long beef with Buffalo for years and years, but I thought this was pretty poignant and a solid observational take. He said, I'm not even going to front. When you watch Buffalo's Hard Knocks, it makes you feel like that team. You see the appeal they have. It's a college town grown-ups. It's a college town that grows up to become an NFL team. Miami, unfortunately, can never be that. This town doesn't know how to be loyal to anything or anyone. So that's a pretty deep shot at Miami, but using the Buffalo part of that, we've been calling this boring. It has been kind of boring, because of a lack of drama, but you get that sense that like it means more in Buffalo. This does feel like a college town, but it's an NFL team. Have you had that sense before with this franchise, these fans?
Yeah. I mean, it does feel like a little bit of a college atmosphere here with the Bills. It's always been that way, man. Like 90s, now, like the drought, it was electric for God's sakes. Until December hit, then everyone was like, the hell with this team. But yeah, it's definitely that. And Miami, look, Miami's like LA. It's LA of the South, where when those teams are good, they're there. But when they're like mediocre, they're gone. And then like the Miami doesn't have the Lakers, which is like the marquee franchise.
I think it's
for LA.
Florida. I don't even think
In
just
general,
Miami.
yeah.
I just think that's Florida, because Tampa was the same. And living there, I was just blown away by how little it felt like the professional teams. Now, I'll say the Tampa Lightning were maybe an exception. I thought their fan base was pretty good. The Florida Panthers are front runners. Nobody was going to that stadium at all before they started getting good. But anyway, with the football part of it, nobody gives a shit. Like, you go to the team, hey, go, let's go. And they lose. It's like, oh, well. Like, Buffalo, that shit eats at you for a few days when you lose. You know what I mean?
I think it's also about like the states and weather, it being really nice. Like what Atlanta's kind of the same way. And I think it's just because like when it's hot, people probably have other things to do. They want to go to the beach or there's other things to do. Where in the Northeast, it's fall weather. Like we're gonna sit in our houses and drink beer when the snow comes down and watch football. That's how it is. So
let's get. I got a Shawn Dolac take, and it's from Mike Harrington, by the way, from the Buffalo News. No, because you know what? You're going to give him his props, man.
Oh, I have to? Okay.
Well,
sure.
yeah. Well, Mike Harrington, I think he says this really well. He says, bravo, Shawn Dolac. The NFL shenanigans we saw with no combine and no draft feel like old school dinosaurism we get in hockey when teams underdraft guys like Alex DeBrincat and Cole Caulfield, who can obviously play. But to not get drafted at all, clearly insane groupthink. I will say this. Let's use it this way so you don't have to include Shawn Dolac. Just these guys get paid all this money. It's their job. 12 months a year they work, 365, and a player comes along, and this happens every year. We just happen to be a guy from Buffalo that everyone here knows. But, dude, he's a first-team All-American linebacker, the first in the history of UB ever to be named first-team All-American. Not even Khalil Mack did that, okay? Tape galore. One of the best actual productive players in the country. Doesn't have doesn't have the greatest physical measurements, though. A little bit undersized, not the fastest linebacker either. Dude could just play football. But anyway, Joe, he doesn't get an invite. He doesn't even get an invite to the Senior Bowl. He doesn't even get an invite to the Combine. And then he doesn't even get drafted. And look what he's done now. You know what I mean? It's sometimes these evaluators just get it wrong. And I'll tell you, I've seen a lot of Bills fans this week kind of pissed off that they didn't draft Shawn Dolac. And it's a fair point. Now, the wide receiver that they drafted and cut already, I also saw that point. I think they were trying to get the next Matt Collins, a big dude who could play special teams, but this guy wore his cleats. He didn't walk around barefoot. But I get it. That's fair. I mean, Shawn Dolac would have made the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to tell you that right now. He would have he's better than Joe Andreessen. I promise you that. So, I know you don't have a take on it.
I don't have a take. What am I going to say? We're talking about this guy again? I mean, look, we'll see what happens. Keep me updated on his stats every week.
I'll make a deal with you. I won't throw Shawn Dolac in your face when I have you on the show anymore. If you get on right now,
okay.
If you get on the ground level, because Steve Noble brings us up in the chat, and he's right. Red Murdoch, who is a UB linebacker right now, is better than Shawn Dolac, and he's better than Joe Andreessen, too. Red Murdoch is going to be, you're going to know about him. You know why?
Why?
He's going to get drafted. That's why.
Why do you have to bring up UB people to me? Like Matt Rich Warren, the third, Yurden, Perino, talk to Skursky. Like, you got to bring up all these UB. I don't care about UB. I'm sorry. No offense to UB. I don't care. I don't care about any of the college sports in Buffalo. I'm sorry.
What a curmudgeon, dude. All right,
I'm not a curmudgeon. I'm being realistic. Sorry. If UB was as big as you're saying, WGR would be talking about them all the time. They never talk about them. So go and complain about that. Why don't you have a UB show? Why don't you go talk to the sports director since you're Mr. UB? You got the UB colors on right now.
I've actually been working on trying to get Red on the show, man. But
why don't your lazy ass take your ass out of West Seneca or the South Towns? Come to the North Towns where Amherst is. Go to Alumni Arena. Go talk to who is it? Bobby Hurley's the sports director. I don't even know who's there. And talk to the SID and go, hey, I'm Pat. I'll pander to you guys. Give me some guests. I just do it. Get off your ass. There's some wings there. There's the Audubon Library.
Audubon North
whatever.
Is there.
Elmo's.
Elmo's.
You could think about how much you can do. You could do an Elmo's, a live show at Elmo's, the UB show. You're doing it live at Elmo's. They'll do it. No one cares about. And I say this realistically. No one in the media or the podcast world cares about UB except Brad Ryder. And I think that's it. So this is a niche. Mick Mendola, because they work for them. This is a niche you can get. Like, do it once a week. Do it on Saturday. You could do a pregame show there. You get drunk. You know what you could do? And I'm spitballing here. And we'll get the hell out of here soon, I think. Or you got to do your other segment. But you like to get drunk on Saturdays? You could do Drunk with Pat UB style every Saturday in the morning live before a game. You could go to the Elbows and do it there. I mean, I'm a genius. I'm for hire. Pat won't hire me because he has no money. He'd rather buy Podfather gear. But that's it. His gear looks really good, by the way. Podfather's gear looks pretty good. I got to give him that.
Herd mentality stuff. And by the way, he also launches a website this week, too.
Yes.
Pretty cool, man.
Podfather.com, yeah.
I still haven't I got to tell him, man. Be like, yo, my guy Joe calls you the Podfather all the time, man. Podfather,
well, if I see him next, I might see him next week.
Aaron Quinn's Airball.
I don't know about Airball Quinn. It might be Aaron always wrong Quinn. I haven't figured that out yet.
Greg T-Bone Thompson. Those are
Gunther Turner.
Gunther Turner. You gotta watch WWE to know that.
Bruce all lazy because he does one podcast a week. Trying to think who else is there. Who else can? Oh, Anthony Marino. I got to figure out a nickname for him. Oh no, Timo Marino. That's it. Timo Marino. I'm sorry, Anthony. I love you, but it's Timo Marino.
Wrong, dude, I love Anthony.
I like him too, but it's Timo Marino because he's not the Podfather. It's Timo Marino.
All right, so I want to do this segment that we started this week. In fact, I did the first one I did with you, and it was pretty good. It was pretty close too. I got the segment now. We're calling it One Must Go. And it's going to be a different topic each time. I'm giving you 4 choices that I think, anyway, are relatively equal in stature, and your job is to delete one of them.
And you've not given me these at all, by the way.
No, by the way, you don't even know what I'm going to tell you right now.
Because I got no rundown. Thanks again for that.
The one we did was TV series dramas, and it was Breaking Bad, The Wire, Game of Thrones, and The Sopranos. And the one that got deleted was Game of Thrones. Not surprising. I am surprised that it was a little, I don't want to say a blowout. It was a blowout. It was pretty significant for Game of Thrones. Now, the last one I did was Saturday Night Live cast members. And it was John Belushi, Will Ferrell, Chris Farley, and Dana Carvey. And Dana Carvey overwhelmingly got deleted. All right, so today, and if you happen to be still around in the live chat, if you want to chime in with your opinion, today's topic is, and I'm going to put a poll on Twitter as well, and I'll put a vote up, and we'll talk about it on the next episode. But today's topic is artists that only go by one name. So I'm going to give you 4 artists that only go by one name. So this is kind of like a GOAT conversation, every topic, and your job is to take the one that you think belongs on there the least. So you are going to, you're not giving me your top 4, you're not ranking them, you're just going to delete one from this conversation. So again, the topic, artists that only go by one name. The candidates are Prince, Beyonce, Madonna, Eminem. I personally think this is a tough one, but I'll say it again for everyone listening. Prince, Beyonce, Madonna, and Eminem. And you have to delete one from any kind of GOAT conversation. What do you think? I think this one's hard.
You always ask me. I'm not a big music guy, but I'm going to have to pretend now for you. I would say Eminem. Because you know what? Eminem's, like Eminem. Like Eminem's not even I think he's great. Like I liked him when I was a kid. Like not a kid, but I was a young adult. Like 98, 2002. It was great. Then he kind of lagged and, you're asking them. You need to talk to me first before you do these.
No, this is fun to do it this way. I kind of wanted your spontaneous in the moment kind of reaction.
Yeah,
if I would have told you first, you would have told me. You would have told me you don't want to do this one.
You're right. I would have said, "Why are we doing music?" But I would say Eminem. I mean, look, Beyonce's great. She's a legend. Madonna, she's the GOAT. She's awesome. Prince, I probably would have been the other guy. I don't really many. Prince was never like my jam when I was younger.
That's fair.
I know you love him. Like you probably want to, you love him. Like he's 80s nostalgia. And I know you love the 80s.
Prince's Purple Rain album. The poster is literally. I wish I could swing my camera around, but I don't got a cheap camera like these other guys who just have webcams. I got a real camera, so I can't show you. But anyway, the Prince poster is literally on my studio door right here. So he's not going anywhere. For me, I would say, although I'm tempted to say Eminem, that would be. I'm also going to say that he's kind of like, I don't know, man. He's transcended the genres enough that I would say Beyonce. Maybe the most famous one, but I would say Beyonce is probably the one that I would have to boot. And by the way, real quick here, I'm going to pull this up. Where is it? Here in the live. I'm getting a little out of hand here, a little boring. But anyway, you sort of see that. I just took a picture of my studio door there. So I'm just telling you, man, I got the Prince Purple Rain album cover on there. So anyway, you say Eminem, and I'm going to say Beyonce. I'm going to put this poll up on Friday, and I kind of got a feeling that it's going to be pretty close. All right, let me fly through a couple of these questions that I had flagged earlier, and we'll get through them. Marino's Legacy had said, I just don't know if we have enough blue chip guys to win a championship. The Eagles game was eye-opening. Do you believe that?
The Eagles game. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I don't think we don't have as much high. That's why I would have done anything in my power to get Micah Parsons on here, because I think you need fair. It's not about the role guys, it's about the star guys, and Agreed. The Eagles have a lot of that. And I'm not saying could the Bills win the Super Bowl? Yes, but I don't. You're asking me today, do I think are they going to win the Super Bowl this year? I don't think so. But yeah,
really. All right, and again, also, Deion Walker and TJ Sanders better be the real deal opening night getting a pass rush. I'm confident that they will be. Matt C says, no. Anybody that thinks the Bills are actively trying to win a Super Bowl are absolutely being fooled by this organization. I don't believe that. Do you believe that?
They want to win. But they're
what have they not done that would make you think that they're not trying to win a Super Bowl? They just paid a lot of guys. And they got Joey Bosa.
If there's anything you could be annoyed with them, it's they are very arrogant, and in some cases they should be, because they did turn around the franchise. But they could be hubris and arrogant, like them being Brandon Beane being a dick to Jeremy about the wide receiving room and all that sort of stuff, and their philosophy of we need 75 defensive linemen, when if you have Micah Parsons, it doesn't matter who else is on the fucking defensive line. But I digress. But that's kind of the only thing I would have an issue with is they still live in that philosophy of they think that you win up in the trenches, and I'm like, you need some skill guys or you need just studs. But whatever, that's how they work. But no, they want to win. They definitely. Terry Pagula, give him credit. They put a lot of money into that whole thing. The Sabres he doesn't give a rat's ass about when it comes to spending money, and he does it all for the Bills.
Last comment here, and again, I want to thank everybody, especially in the live chat. If you're watching this on the video side, incredibly active tonight. In fact, even if you're listening to this, you might want to go on YouTube and replay the chat. There's been some good side battles going on as usual. Anyway, leave my freedom be. All right, we're going to end with an optimistic note here. He says, the older I get, the more I realize it's not the prize that matters most, but instead the struggle and the effort. I'm proud of this team. I don't know. Maybe this might be the wrong show for you to put that comment up on.
What do you mean? You just said about 45 minutes ago, everyone's so negative, and now you're gonna shit on Mr. Leave my freedom be.
I'm joking. I'm completely joking. Look, I'll say this, Joe. Maybe we're getting a little bit spoiled because they've been contending now, and there's every reason to think that's going to continue this year. Look, man, they're fun. They're a good team, and it's nice to go into every season with the expectation that they're going to win the Super Bowl. I mean, look, they're the third biggest betting favorite right now to win the Super Bowl.
No. It's not. It won't be shot. When I said before, I don't think they're going to. I think it's. We'll talk about it on the next show that I'm on. But
good segue.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But anyone who's critical of the Bills, and I think it's you just said it's great right now. Anyone who watches the Bills, it's great right now. But you could still be critical. You could still be annoyed.
Oh yeah,
I could still be like, hey, I wish they would have got Micah Parsons. I would have made it. I would have tried to make it happen because I don't care about the cap and make it happen. And that could be a stupid take, fine. But there's a little bit too much of that where you should be smell the roses. I am smelling the roses. It's been great. I met my wife when the Bills started being really good. It's been great for me. Okay, I'm not a brick because I'm pissed off that they have a 17 defensive line rotation and their wide receivers are freaking. I don't even know who their wide receivers are after the third guy or second guy at this point. And your boy Curtis Samuel I don't know where the hell he is. He just left, and that's it. And yeah, you could be critical. Leave my freedom be. Of course, you can be critical but still be positive. Yeah. You can still beat both. Yeah.
Darth Stigator brought up a fair point too. People always focus on what they disagree on more than what they agree on. That's true. That's very true here. All right. It's the fact that they gag at the time. All right, Ralph Wilson Sr., man. It's that they gag at the end.
Oh, Ralph, coming in from hell. How you doing, buddy?
All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get out of here for today. I will say this, too. Joe's going to be back on Monday like he is every Monday podcast. However, we are not doing that live on Sunday night like we usually do. It's a holiday weekend. Joe's going away. A lot of stuff going on. So what we're gonna pre-record that episode, and the video will still be up at 9 o'clock on Sunday night. It's just not going to be streaming live. The whole video will already be up. The podcast will drop Monday like it always does. So there'll be no live video show. Every Bills game, we will be live, though, because the season starts the week after. Well, it'll be live, but Joe won't be there week one because it'll be
Well, look, we'll see what happens. I will call in if you get me on the line. I will call in. You know, my worry is my cell phone dying, but I'll call in.
Yeah.
If you want.
I agree. All right. So that's the plan anyway. So there will be a show Monday, and Joe will be back on with me. But like I said, we're going to pre-record that, and it's all about 2025 Buffalo Bills individual and team predictions and superlatives. So that's going to be the entire episode. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Thank you for watching, for listening. Have a good weekend. We'll be back. Brand new show Labor Day Monday.